and this is just fascinating to me. I saw this. March 13th is Registered Dietitian and Nutritionist Day.
It is. That would be today, in fact.
Yeah, March 13th, yeah. First of all, it's hilarious in so many ways because most registered dietitians admittedly say that dietary supplements are not needed.
That's right. And they've clung to that viewpoint for 70 years.
And why have they clung to it?
Well, the reason why, I believe, is because they're dealing, well, it gets kind of political, but the dietary supplement industry is at direct odds with the pharmaceutical companies in many ways.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And they're at direct odds, not so much now, but they were for decades, sort of at odds with the medical industry. Because medicine is driven by pharmaceuticals and not nutrients. Well, the registered dietitian industry, it was for a long time and probably still is, perhaps more not as noticeable, but under the umbrella of the medical industry. So when you have a group of people, they're not going to be promoting the supplement industry because they're basically working with and for the medical industry. The medical industry is not pushing supplements. They're not teaching prevention, although that's, thank goodness, slowly getting a little better.
Yeah.
But they're basically pushing drugs. And so the medical industry, the dietetics industry, their position is you can get all the nutrients you need from a balanced diet. They never tell you what a balanced diet is, by the way, but just eat a balanced diet.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, what's that?
Well, that's the same. There was a show on MTV a bunch of years back about a guy with a friend, and the friend was really, really overweight. And the friend that wasn't overweight was trying to explain to him, don't you want to live a longer life for your family and your kids and all that? And took him to a registered dietitian. And the dietitian would basically just tell him to eat less and to try to exercise. And so 6 months, 3 months went by, and they went back in, and he lost no weight. And he said, well, I'm trying my best. And he said, I still haven't got the exercise, but I'm going to work on that soon. And the registered dietitian said, great, keep it up. And I was looking at that, and so were the people in the show, and going, well, this can't be right. And another 3 months or another 6 months passed, and they went back to the registered dietitian, and they said, oh, you lost 5 pounds or 5 pounds or 3 pounds, something very little.
Minuscule.
That was almost probably just water weight. And they said, oh, well, keep it up. You're on the right track. And even in the show, the people were kind of looking at the registered dietitian like, I'm not understanding what's happening here. So why do you think they're stuck in that? I mean, you kind of just explained it, of why they've been stuck in this whole thing for so long, because of the pressure they're against as far as who they're in with.
Yep.
And I guess that would lead to, what about the food pyramid, and what is that? Because that's a registered dietitian thing.
Well, yeah, basically, it's all lumped into the same bunch of what I call constipated thinkers.
Yeah.
The food pyramid, if the truth be known, if you've flipped it upside down and ate it backwards, it'd be healthier.
Whoa.
Because essentially what they're saying is low protein, very low fat, high carbohydrates, high fruits and vegetables, high grains and starches. And the food pyramid has probably contributed as much as anything I know to the epidemic of type 2 diabetes worldwide.
Wow. And so that's another thing that the dietitian on that show was bringing up, is that try some sugar-free, try some low-fat, big on the low-fat, big on the sugar-free. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, sugar-free is a good idea because we all eat our own body weight in sugar or more every year. So, I mean, that's something we can agree on.
Okay.
But as far as they're low-fat fanatics, because fat is contains or provides more than twice as many calories as any other food.
And even with all the new studies, I mean, you see it on TV of how they're saying, you know, fat is completely not your enemy as we thought it was.
That's right. But they stick to it because that's what they've been taught for 75 years.
Yeah.
And that's what the medical industry wants them to teach.
Huh.
And all of this business about fat burning and raising your metabolism, they just don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, and that just descends into more and more things that we could talk about down the road. Like they still believe that fat causes heart disease. They still believe that fat causes obesity.
They still believe that you can get all your nutrients from a diet.
Right, and
which is impossible.
Well, even according to the National Institutes of Health, they said that the average person is 50% deficient in the essential nutrients needed for optimal wellness.
Yeah.
But they just ignore that. Oh, just eat more. Well, no, you got to lose weight. Well, eat less. It's madness.